So if you are sitting at your desk right now or maybe commuting in, you're probably operating this incredibly weird, almost, contradictory
Well,
headspace.
absolutely. It's a very strange time to be working.
Right. Because on one side of the spectrum, there is this deafening megaphone of AI hype. I mean, every single day, some new article tells you a new tool is revolutionary, and everything about how you work is just going to change by tomorrow morning.
It's relentless.
But then on the exact opposite side, there is this very quiet, very real, and honestly quite heavy AI anxiety. It's this creeping thought of, wait, where exactly do I fit into all of this in 3 years? Like, am I literally training my own replacement right now?
It is a profound sort of whiplash for people.
Yeah.
You're essentially being told simultaneously that this technology is going to, solve every operational problem your company has ever faced,
Right.
and that it might also make your specific hard-earned set of skills completely irrelevant.
Yeah, that is a terrifying combination.
It really is. Living in that gray area day in and day out is just an exhausting place for any professional to be.
Which is the exact tension we are tackling in today's deep dive. We are looking at a phenomenal source today, a recent piece from the Amplified Impact newsletter over on LinkedIn.
Written by Scott Wise.
Yes, exactly. And our mission for this deep dive is incredibly high stakes. We want to figure out how to make you, the person listening to this right now, completely indispensable as AI becomes more and more abundant.
That's the goal.
We are talking about fundamentally shifting your mindset from just, automating your daily tasks to actually amplifying your unique expertise.
And to understand how to make that shift, we really have to look at what has actually been happening over the past couple of years. Because organizations have been in an absolute frenzy of motion.
Frenzy is the right word. It's been wild.
It has been a mad dash. We've seen pilot programs launched in almost every corporate department, entire suites of new generative tools deployed globally practically overnight.
Yeah, workflows have been automated everywhere.
Exactly. And if you look at the executive dashboards, those baseline efficiency metrics have definitely ticked upward. I mean, the charts look phenomenal.
But, and this is the big but, look at it from the perspective of the people actually reviewing those charts. Is that efficiency translating into actual market dominance?
That is the multi-million-dollar question right there. Because behind closed doors, in boardrooms and strategy briefings right now, there is an echoing, quiet concern among leadership.
What are they saying?
Well, they look at all this frenetic activity and they realize they are undeniably doing more. But nobody is entirely sure if they're actually doing better.
Wow. Doing more, but not better.
Right. The sheer novelty, the dazzling power of the technology has completely distracted leaders from the single most valuable thing in the room.
Okay, let's unpack this because I want to push back on that a little bit. I need to play devil's advocate here.
Go for it.
If I use a new AI tool to automate my department's weekly reporting, right, and I save my team 40 hours a week, and I save the company $500,000 a year, my boss isn't going to look at me and say, we aren't doing better. They're probably going to give me a promotion.
Sure. It's a short term.
Right. So why isn't eliminating drudgery a completely strategic, competitive move in 2026?
What's fascinating here is the subtle danger in that exact framing. In the source material, Scott Wise tells a story about an executive briefing he was leading.
Okay.
A leader raised their hand and asked what has basically become the quintessential corporate question of our time. They asked, what work activities can we eliminate with AI?
I mean, that sounds like what everyone is asking.
It is. But Wise actually stopped the room and offered a total reframe. He told them the better question is not what can we eliminate, but what thinking can we elevate.
Elevate. Okay, but I mean, that sounds great on a motivational poster.
Yeah, it does sound a bit buzzy.
Right, but in a brutal economy, why does elevating my thinking actually protect my job better than just, being the fastest person at using AI to cut costs?
Because an elimination mindset is entirely focused on efficiency. It asks how we can do the exact same things we have always done, just with fewer humans and less time.
Which is good, right?
Efficiency is a worthy goal, yes, but it has a hard ceiling. And more importantly, efficiency does not compound.
What do you mean by that?
Think about your example of saving the company $500,000. If you figure out how to do a process 20% faster with AI today, your biggest competitor is going to buy the exact same software tomorrow.
Oh,
Right, and they'll figure out the exact same optimization. You haven't built a defensive moat for your career or your company. You've just joined a race to the bottom where the baseline of what is expected has permanently shifted.
I see. So the moment everyone has the same efficiency, it's no longer an advantage.
Exactly.
It's just table stakes. Like, congratulations, you're not going bankrupt today, but you're not winning either.
Precisely. Elevation, on the other hand, is what makes you indispensable. It takes your unique human insight, your market judgment, and it scales it. Indispensability is a compounding asset.
Okay, that makes sense.
When you use AI to elevate your strategic thinking, you discover new problems to solve, which creates new value, which leads to deeper insights. It snowballs.
While efficiency is just, what, a flat line?
Yeah, efficiency is just a flat line drawn slightly lower on the expense sheet.
That brings us to a really crucial distinction, actually. To understand why elevating your thinking makes you so indispensable, we have to clearly define what AI actually brings to the table versus what human expertise brings.
Right, the fundamental differences.
Yeah, and our source names this core architecture of value perfectly. It argues that AI brings the breadth of patterns, while humans bring the depth of context.
Breadth versus depth. Let's look at AI's breadth first because it is literally staggering. I mean, AI has processed more information than any human could read in 1,000 lifetimes.
Easily.
It has ingested every piece of industry research, competitive frameworks, global market trends.
Historical financial models.
Exactly. Strategic playbooks across literally every sector imaginable. It has mapped the entire history of human corporate strategy.
It is the ultimate data sponge.
Yes.
But the catch is that this exact same breadth is available to literally every single organization on the planet. I mean, if you have an internet connection and $20 a month for a subscription, you have that breadth.
It is a total commodity now.
Completely. Let me try an analogy here to really synthesize this for you listening. Think of AI as the ultimate armchair traveler.
Okay, I like this.
This traveler has sat in a library and memorized every single map, every guidebook, every historical text, and every topographical survey of a specific city.
They know the exact population density.
Right. The coordinates of every building, the average rainfall down to the millimeter. That is the breadth of patterns.
It knows the terrain on paper flawlessly.
Flawlessly. But you, the professional, the listener, you are the local guide who actually lives in that city.
Oh, right.
You know that even though the map says Main Street is the fastest route, it always floods when it rains for more than 20 minutes, so everyone takes the back roads.
The AI doesn't know about the flood.
Exactly. You know the unwritten rules of the town council. You know that the owner of the local hardware store is retiring next year, even though it hasn't been publicly announced.
Because you had coffee with him last week and he mentioned his grandkids.
Yes. That is the depth of context. You can't
Yeah.
just scrape that from a database.
Yeah. If we connect this to the bigger picture, that local guide analogy perfectly captures the hard limitations of the technology. The AI does not know your clients.
It doesn't.
It has absolutely no memory of the nuance in a conversation you had with your most important customer 3 months ago.
You know, the conversation where their tone of voice, just that slight hesitation, revealed something critical about where their business is actually heading.
Regardless of what their upbeat press release claimed, right?
Right.
The AI does not know the unwritten rules of your specific market, or the fragile internal politics of your executive team, or the nuanced judgment you have meticulously built from decades of making real, high-stakes decisions.
With real, painful consequences. You just can't prompt an AI to have 10 years of lived experience. Depth isn't a data set you can upload.
It has to be lived. And this is where the divergence between the two mindsets becomes really stark.
How so?
Well, automation, that what can we eliminate mindset, it looks at this messy, complicated human depth and treats it like a bottleneck.
Like it's a problem to be solved.
Exactly. It looks at human judgment and says, how can we bypass this slow, expensive human and get straight to the output?
Oh, wow.
But amplification, however, looks at your human depth as the ultimate asset. It says, how do we use the machine to clear away the repetitive work so this human can apply their deep context to bigger, more complex problems?
Here's where it gets really interesting, because if an organization fails to grasp this difference, if they think the armchair traveler's breadth is a complete replacement for the local guide's depth, they fall into a spectacularly expensive trap.
They really do.
We talked earlier about how automating a process gets you real, measurable gains, right? Costs drop, output increases. But the trap is that automation only optimizes for what already exists.
It does not invent a better way. It simply takes the current, potentially flawed business model and makes it run 1,000 times faster.
Right. Let's break down the mechanics of that trap. It is essentially like paving a massive high-speed superhighway that leads straight into a brick wall.
That's a great visual.
I mean, sure, you are driving a lot faster, the ride is incredibly smooth, your fuel efficiency is off the charts.
But getting faster doesn't help you at all if the direction you are aggressively accelerating toward has already been disrupted by the market.
Exactly. Think about a historical example, like Blockbuster.
Oh, classic.
Imagine if Blockbuster had early access to this kind of AI in the early 2000s, and they used it purely for an elimination mindset. They might have built the most incredible, automated, AI-driven late fee collection system in the world.
Oh man, they would have optimized their logistics, saved millions on administrative costs, and fired thousands of accountants.
And their executives would have been thrilled with those quarterly metrics, but they still would have gone bankrupt because they were optimizing a model physical tape rentals that was fundamentally dying.
They would have just achieved flawless execution of a completely obsolete strategy.
Yes, that is the hidden fatal cost of optimizing the wrong thing.
Execution efficiency without deep strategic clarity is just a faster way to fail. Really is. Amplification asks a fundamentally different question.
What does it ask?
Instead of asking, how do we do this legacy process faster? It asks, given what I uniquely know about my clients, my market, and where value is actually shifting, what should our model be?
What should it be? Not what is it?
Right. Scott Wise points out a tragic cycle happening in corporate America right now. Companies are spending millions of dollars and countless engineering hours automating legacy processes.
Chasing that efficiency.
And they achieve that real cost optimization. But a year later, the market shifts, and they realize that if they had used AI to amplify their strategic thinking first,
Oh, I see where this is going.
they would have discovered an entirely new value proposition. And that new value proposition would have rendered the old process they just spent millions automating completely irrelevant.
So they successfully automated a process that shouldn't even exist anymore. That is a visceral warning for leaders.
It's a massive waste of resources.
But this tendency to just blindly automate, to rush toward efficiency without strategy, it doesn't just waste capital.
No, it doesn't.
It actually exposes a very harsh, unspoken truth about corporate culture and what companies really believe about the people working for them. Which brings us to a phrase everyone listening to this has heard a million times.
People are our greatest asset.
Yes. For decades, that phrase has been the ultimate corporate cliche. I mean, it is plastered on the opening page of annual reports.
It's repeated by the CEO at every all-hands town hall meeting.
It is practically etched into the glass walls of HR departments. And to be fair, the source notes that most leaders probably genuinely want to believe it.
Sure, they mean well.
But Wise challenges us to look past the slogans and look directly at the capital allocation. Look at where the AI investment dollars are actually flowing. So what does this all mean for you and your workplace? Let's make this incredibly real for a second.
Okay.
If you look around your organization right now, does your company's actual on-the-ground AI strategy reflect the belief that human beings are the greatest asset?
It is the ultimate litmus test for corporate values, because your technology strategy is broadcasting a loud, clear message to your workforce, whether you realize it or not.
What is an automation-first strategy broadcasting?
An automation-first strategy sends a very cold, secret message. It says, in effect, that human judgment, human relationships, and human expertise are actually just liabilities.
Ouch.
Yeah. They're annoying costs that need to be aggressively reduced. The unstated goal of that organization is to achieve the final business outcome with as close to zero human involvement as legally and operationally possible.
Think about the psychological toll of that. It is incredibly demoralizing to wake up every day and feel like you're being asked to train your own digital replacement.
Right.
It's like being handed a really efficient AI-powered shovel and being told to dig your own professional grave.
No one does their best, most creative work in an environment driven by that kind of existential dread. They survive, but they don't innovate.
But an amplification strategy sends an entirely different message, doesn't it?
Completely different. It says to the workforce, your human expertise, your depth is the engine of this entire enterprise. We cannot run without it.
I love that.
And this new AI technology, it is simply the high-octane fuel that is going to allow your engine to run at a scale, a speed, and an impact level that you could never reach on your own.
It clearly defines the value of the company as existing in the combination of human and machine.
Exactly, not in the replacement of one by the other.
It's like the difference between trying to build an autonomous robot to completely replace a human driver versus building an Iron Man suit to make the human driver a superhero.
That's a perfect analogy.
The suit is powerful, sure, but it's empty armor without the human inside making the moral and strategic decisions.
Yeah, it's exactly the dynamic.
Yeah.
And historically, saying people are our greatest asset was a way to signal competitive differentiation, usually regarding company culture.
Right, like they're having ping pong tables or free lunches.
Exactly. But in the AI era, where any competing company can buy the exact same baseline AI capabilities for a few $1,000s, treating your people as your greatest asset isn't just a nice cultural value anymore.
It's the literal foundation of your survival.
It is. If everyone has the same AI breadth, the only competitive differentiator left on the board is the depth of the humans wielding it.
Which brings all of these high-level corporate strategies crashing right down to your daily life, your career trajectory, and your future. As this technology becomes as ubiquitous and invisible as electricity, which, by the way, is happening rapidly, your personal indispensability does not live in your ability to process information quickly,
No, it doesn't.
or format a spreadsheet, or write a standard memo. It lives entirely in your depth.
It lives in the judgment you have cultivated from past failures. It lives in the messy human relationships you hold with clients who trust you.
Yeah.
It lives in that highly specific contextual knowledge that exists absolutely nowhere else except in your own lived experience. In a world that is suddenly oversaturated with the cheap, infinite breadth of AI, your human depth is suddenly the ultimate scarce resource.
So the takeaway here isn't to put your head in the sand. Don't resist AI.
Please don't.
Trying to outwork or outcompute an AI on basic tasks is a losing battle. The strategy is to actively use AI to clear away your own administrative noise.
Automate your own repetitive tasks and shallow work.
Yes, so that your deep work, your wisdom, your judgment, your relationship building commands more of your day and creates more value for your organization.
That's how you become indispensable.
I really want to give massive credit to the mind behind these insights. Scott Wise, who is a consultant, author, and the founder of AI for Leaders.
His work is fantastic.
It really is. His program is specifically designed to help Fortune 2000 executives navigate this exact highly difficult transition from an automation mindset to an amplification mindset.
Because it's not an easy shift to make.
No, it's not. If you are a leader trying to figure out how to build this capability in your team and you want to stop optimizing the wrong things, you absolutely need to check out the AI for Leaders program by visiting scottwise.ai.
It is vital work right now. Making that shift from an automation mindset to an amplification mindset isn't actually a technology decision at all. Buying the software is the easy part.
Very true.
It is fundamentally a leadership decision about how you view human potential.
Now, before we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with something to really chew on. I've talked extensively about the value of human depth and how you need to protect it.
This raises an important question, though, a highly provocative one, I think, for the future of the workforce.
Lay it on us.
We have established that human depth, that vital market judgment, the nuance, the ability to read a room, the relationship building, is built through years of hands-on experience.
Yes, decades sometimes.
And historically, we gained that experience by doing the grunt work. We learned the industry by running the tedious spreadsheets, by reading the endless quarterly reports, by doing the very entry-level breadth work that AI is currently so successfully automating away.
Oh, man. It's the paradox of the junior employee.
Exactly. The exact tasks we are so eager to eliminate are the exact tasks that taught us how the business actually works.
So the lingering question is?
The question is this. If organizations successfully use AI to completely take over all of those foundational entry-level tasks, how will the next generation of young leaders ever build the necessary depth to become indispensable?
Wow.
If we use AI to completely remove the shallow waters where everyone learns to swim, how do we expect the next generation to suddenly know how to navigate the deep end of strategic judgment? Right.
That is a brilliant and slightly terrifying paradox to leave off on. If we automate the training ground entirely, we might accidentally eliminate the very human depth we are trying to amplify later.
It's something every leader needs to be thinking about right now.
You might be sitting somewhere between AI hype and AI anxiety right now, but hopefully you are walking away from this discussion with a much clearer map of where your true value lies.
Absolutely.
It's not in racing the machine to see who can process data faster. It's in knowing the terrain better than the machine ever could. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Keep elevating your thinking, keep building your depth, and we will catch you on the next one.